Just want to hop in here at the beginning and let folks know that I completely dropped the fucking ball on this one. And forgot to mention that our new theme song is written, composed, and performed by Vitizen. You can find him on Twitter at _Vitizen_. Enjoy the rest of this perfect episode. Nay, the world, nay,
what?
The universe's greatest Star Trek podcast.
Why just limit it to Star Trek?
The world's greatest anything ever.
I mean, we're pretty fucking awesome.
This is gonna be a laid back episode with me, your host Jeff.
And me, the other guy, Josh. Let me turn this fan off. There we go. Now I can. Now I can hear. I can hear shit.
It's a fun laid-back episode because I've gotten 3 hours of sleep last night and 3 hours of sleep the night before.
How's that drilling in your house going?
It's thrilling.
Dude, I get pissed off when like there's a truck outside and I can hear it. I can't imagine them like drilling holes in the buildings.
I've been down there both days to talk to them about it, and they're both like, well, "We gotta do."
You should just get up and like get a bathrobe on and go out and just watch them. Just sip your coffee and watch them and be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" Like, make them tell you about what they're doing. They'll love that. They'll love that talking about it.
I wish I had a drill or a saw or something so I could go out and, like, every time they drill, put it right next to their head and turn my saw on full blast.
Yeah, they wouldn't like that.
They would not care for that at all. But that's not what this episode's about.
It could be. Why not?
This is not Jeff and Josh Shoot the Shit. It's M-Class Podcast. A podcast where we sit down and pick apart an episode of Star Trek throughout the storied history of the series and pick it apart and make juvenile jokes the whole time.
Butt jokes. Wiener jokes. Wieners inside of butt jokes.
Poop jokes. That comes out of a butt.
That's like a reverse wiener coming out of your butt.
Oh my god, you've broken the code. I never thought about it. This episode that we're going to be talking about today is from Deep Space Nine. It is Season 3, Episode 9, Defiant.
Yeah.
It's important to note this is probably like a little bit before the show really catches its footing.
This is right when it gets good, honestly. Like after this, like there's some shit in this episode where you're like, oh, okay, I remember this. Like I forgot that this kind of happened.
Like shit has started already.
Yeah,
right?
it's already, yeah.
But like we're past the point where we've gone into the Gamma Quadrant. We're past the point where like we've learned that there's a problem there. But this is a fun episode where we meet up again with Thomas Riker, the transporter duplicate of Will Riker, who just makes the worst life decisions you could possibly make.
It only feels like last week we met this amazing character who surely will be around for seasons to come.
My favorite part of this episode is at the very, very end, where Kira's like, we'll get you out, Tom, I promise, and then immediately forgets about him forever.
And then it cuts to her, like, in her quarters, and she's, like, in a bathtub, and she's like, wasn't there something I was supposed to do? I'll think of it.
She just has sex with, like, the president of Bajor, and then the spiritual leader of Bajor. Yeah. And then a goo man, so she never remembers Tom.
She has a type until Odo, that's for sure.
Yeah. She has a type
very
until
famous
the writer.
Bajoran?
She has a type until the writers are like, we gotta put some of these characters together.
They gotta start fucking each other so we can put them in the scenes together.
We gotta get that Saved by the Bell, the college years audience. I think that was on at this time. I don't know.
Yeah, I think.
Nobody wants that audience. The audience that didn't exist that they canceled the show for.
Oh,
anyway, this episode was written
sad.
by Ronald D. Moore, who you might know from pretty much everything.
I love that man. I wish he was my godfather.
Not your actual father, huh?
I never had one of those, and I'm fine with it.
Them's the breaks. Dads, they suck.
They're fucking terrible.
It was written by Cliff Bowl, who you might remember earlier. John Larroquette fun fact of the week was that the Bolian race was named after Cliff Bowl.
Oh yeah, that's right. How interesting again.
And an even funner fact that was brought up last time he was on an episode was that he treated Will Wheaton like shit on the set.
Yeah, that was a super fun fact.
And
Cliff Bowl was born in 1937. So people like him, like they're not putting up with anyone like Will Wheaton. Like Will Wheaton is like if there was like a millennial, I know he's not a millennial, he's a Gen X, right? But if there was like a millennial like walking stereotype, that would be like Will Wheaton.
Oh, for sure. Like fucking Cliff Bowl is like, I lived through a world war, kid. Get on your fucking mark. Robert O'Reilly, however, who plays Gowron, said that he was a wonderful director and a really nice guy, and he loves him.
Gowron, man, wait, no, I'm thinking of what's his name? Oh my god,
Martok?
My brain is fried. Fucking the other Klingon.
Worf?
Martok.
Martok might be my favorite Klingon. I fucking love Martok.
He's amazing. I was thinking that Gowron was the guy who ran for Senate or whatever, New York State.
That was Martok. He ran as Mark Twain.
He dressed like Mark Twain?
Yeah, he dressed like Mark Twain and pretended to be him and ran as him, just because like apparently the race was full of like political shitheels, and he was like, I'm gonna show them a thing or two with acting.
Oh, acting saves the day.
So honor to you, Cliff Bowl, and your house. He also directed episodes of The $6 Million Man, Baywatch, MacGyver, and The X-Files. And he also directed the pilot of T.J. Hooker.
Wow. I think we all remember that. That's the episode where T.J. Hooker gets the car that he drives.
Knight Rider. Kit. He gets Kit.
He gets Kit. Oh my god.
Could you imagine William Shatner trying to act with Kit? That would be just the worst.
Man, that'd be so good.
I do have a fun fact of the week about Kit from Knight Rider.
Yes, please.
He was voiced by the same guy that played Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney, yeah, I knew that.
In Boy Meets World. That's still fun, Josh.
I knew that one. I usually don't know your fun facts.
It's still super fun. Hey, did you know that the guy who played Mr. Feeney was the president of the Screen Actors Guild for 25 years?
That's an amazing fact. I did not know that.
It was pretty awesome.
How did Mr. Feeney get in charge of the Screen Actors Guild?
They don't do it by how famous you are.
They do it by merit? That's
Tom
weird.
Cruise was supposed to be the leader because he was more famous, but he didn't want to do it. So
he was too busy getting rid of his thetans.
He was trying to get them fucking thetans out.
Get them aliens out of my blood, or whatever we believe.
Or get more of them? I don't know.
You want less. I think less, because it's like the volcano, right? They get, like, fucked into a volcano or something.
What a strange sentence to say to me, a normal person. It's like the volcano, right? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
They believe that like a alien like fucked the Earth, like, and put these demons in the like jizzed a bunch of demons into a volcano.
All right, so this religion sounded pretty awesome so far.
I mean, we should probably join this cult. I mean, actual religion.
Hey, what is the difference between a cult and a religion?
Nothing from where I'm sitting.
No religious person has ever been able to explain that to me adequately. So if you're a religious person, fucking don't email me that. I don't want to.
Don't talk to us about that.
Enjoy your religion, but please don't email me. So let's hop right into this episode.
Oh my god, we're just getting in early. We're ready to go.
We're ready to go. We're getting in before the first break even. We're going to start talking about this episode.
Woo!
Wow. Kira is having a bad day.
I had a bad day. My name is Kira.
My friends call me Nerese cause that's my first name.
But it's really my last name. Do you think Train is still a band in 2369 or whatever it is?
They're the heads in the jars still.
Oh, the Futurama heads.
Train. Is Train still a band now?
They are to me, damn it.
They got the... Is Train the one that did Drops of Jupiter?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be around forever.
I think they did the Had a Bad Day song.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they did.
Every lady I've ever known in my entire life loves that Drops of Jupiter song more than their own family.
Daniel Powder did Bad Day. I don't know who that is, but we're going to say it's Train.
The albino guy from Powder did it?
With a T, not a D. It's
Powder.
Weird. Powder. Like he pouts on. Yeah, that song is like a fuck song, I guess. Like that Drops of Jupiter song. It's like what like people think they want to get fucked to in the background, but in reality,
people really want to get fucked to Rump Shaker by Rex and Effect.
Fuck yes. Jeff, we're the same person. I was obsessed with that song when I was a little kid.
Well, the video.
And my cousin one time was like, my cousin, like, I don't remember. I honestly, like, very barely remember the video, but probably. My cousin was like, you have to stop singing that song. You're driving me crazy. And I was like, never. I'll never stop.
Look,
but I never did.
All I want to do is zoom, and you boom.
Just some, like, little 8-year-old, like, redheaded white kid singing that song.
I want to hear that rendition.
I mean, we have to go back in time to when I was much cuter.
You're still cute to me, damn it.
Just shake your rump.
Aw, that's adorable already. You didn't know that song was about fucking yet.
No, I didn't. I just thought it was about, like, funny song about butts.
The Rump Shaker video is like every woman wearing a 90s bikini.
It's 90s bikini, like, showcase, right?
It is.
Like, it's like the high-waisted bikini, the thong.
Fucking Banana Republic made that video. It was just every single bikini they
And they had
sold.
Epic rap sax guy was in that.
I really, really missed the day. Like, I guess it was the 80s and early 90s when every R&B and rap song had, like, a sax break. I miss that so much.
A cool saxophone song plays. Yeah.
Like, suddenly a dude who's not even in the band shows up with sunglasses on, and he wails on that fucking sax.
And it doesn't matter if it's nighttime. He's got sunglasses on.
Especially if it's nighttime, and there's always, like, steam coming up from the ground around him while he's doing it.
Yeah, maybe he's playing, like, over a subway grate or something, and there's, like, steam coming out.
And you're just like, damn, I will never be this cool as long as I live.
Yeah.
What are the sax players of the 80s and early 90s doing with their lives now?
They're the sax players now. They're the only ones who still play that stupid instrument.
The saxophone is the sexiest instrument, Josh.
I played it in school, in high school. I was a saxophone. Exactly. Everyone was a saxophone player.
I
think it was Zane was like, what did you play in high school? Like, she was like, what in band did you play? And I was like, saxophone. And she was like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
It's the sexiest instrument, Josh.
Yeah, that's probably what she meant by that.
That's definitely. There's no insult in it. I wanted to play trumpet in school band when I was really little, but I couldn't afford one.
Oh yeah, my school like gave them to you.
Yeah, my school said they would give it to us until they were like, "Wait, that's gonna cost money."
Yeah, that sucks though.
So I still don't know how to play an instrument to this day.
Trumpet blows, so they saved you like some trouble.
Dude, I
played a sax.
I wanted to play trumpet so long that I Louis Armstronged myself, and I just had droopy pufferfish cheeks for the rest of my life. That's what I wanted.
You just. Hey, darling. That's my Louis Armstrong.
That's pretty good. I have a bass guitar on my wall outside that I started to learn how to play, and then was like, "This is hard."
Nah, it's easy.
It's easy if you know anything at all about how to play it, for sure.
I took like years of guitar lessons, and then like I like quit, and then I was like, I'm just gonna like figure it out, and then I like just figured it out, and then that's what I did.
The guitar lessons is what I'm missing. Like in the guitar lessons, they're like, put your fingers here to make sound come out, and I'm like, oh, cool. But I didn't get that part, so I go to videos online, and they're like, all right, now that you know how to play, now you know your basic scales, and I'm like, you didn't teach me that shit. Where's the video for that? Now that you know how to play all of Billie Jean, we'll move on to more difficult songs.
We're gonna play every Primus song.
How do I make a note come out of this damn thing?
You gotta plug it in.
Oh shit, that's what I've been doing wrong.
Do you have an amp? Do you have an amp?
I do have an amp. I'm joking, Josh. It's called a joke on the
podcast.
Amp? Yeah, I've got a little baby amp.
I had a little tiny amp called the G Blaster.
Ooh.
And it was like run on like 2D batteries. It was really little.
Well, mine's not that little. You plug it into an outlet. Yeah, it's I don't know how to make sound come out right. Bad sound comes out when I press.
We were going to talk about Star Trek, but now we're talking about this.
That's the show, Josh. That's what we do.
Like, we're getting in early before the break, and then no.
No, we went on a tangent, which
because of Drops of Jupiter, all because of that song.
It's what we do.
That's true.
We'll get through the very beginning before we go to break for sure. Anyway, Kira's having a not so great time. I'm not gonna say
she comes up into ops and she's like, I haven't even had my coffee yet.
Oh, and all the fucking white stay-at-home moms, they're like, ha 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 ha, clap clap clap.
Her job's like mine, except in space.
Apparently there's like a bunch of transports that want to like, they're trying to schedule like. They need their cargo to be on board DS9, and she's like, there's no room left!
Yeah.
And
weird.
Everybody's like, oh, well, there is one more thing.
Don't tell her.
She's like, what is it? And they're like, oh, well, Starfleet wants a report on the computer calibration, and they want it tomorrow? And she's like, 100% fuck my life, right?
Yeah, that's it, man. I'd be like, that's like finding out you have a paper due. It's like, oh, fuck.
Starfleet needs my homework done tomorrow?
Why do they make, like, I'd be like, Starfleet, fucking come get it if you want it.
I'd be like, Starfleet, it'll be done when we get it done. We're in the middle of fucking space, dude.
Yeah, we're dealing with some stuff right now, guys.
She goes down to the infirmary to hear about Bashir's needs, his wants and needs. He's like,
oh, he needs like medicine, and he's going to Vulcan to set up like a triage.
He's going to Camp War 3. His supplies are coming from Vulcan.
Oh, sorry, I got confused because I was bored by his talking.
It was very boring. It was so boring. But he's like, I'm trying to like get medicine for the colonists so they don't die. And Kira's like, fuck those colonists. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, she like loses her fucking mind. It's great. I love it.
Yeah,
I was like, there's redhead Kira. There it is.
And then Bashir's like, Major. And she's like, comes back ready for a fight, right? And he like completely flips the script on her. He's like, I'm the chief medical officer, and I say that you have to take time off now.
Yeah, he does. Like, you think he's gonna fight with her, but he's like, when was your last day off? And you're like, what?
She's doesn't remember her last day off, so it's been long enough. Yeah. Bashir drags her dumb ass down to Quark's, gives her gambling tokens, Lorvan crackers, I got a list here, Carvino juice, a Jumja stick, and a Holosuite program.
Oh, she got a Jumja stick. Oh, it's like a fucking stupid lollipop that you can't ever fit in your mouth. They're like giant butt plug lollipops.
It's like, apparently it's like gummy. It's like a big gummy.
Oh, it's a gummy? Oh, yeah. That's delicious.
And it's I love gummies, by the way. Fucking love them. But it's like apparently so sweet that even Bajorans who have them all the time can't finish one.
Oh, so if you can finish a Jumja stick or whatever you say it, like you're like crazy.
Yeah, you're like a sugar addict at that point if you can finish. Like, O'Brien says he can't even eat half of it.
I didn't even know Bajorans like knew what sugar was. I just figured they ate like roots for fun. Like tree bark.
They had
some tree bark soup.
They had a very advanced society before they got fucking space holocausted.
Yeah, that's right. They did have like cool stuff, art and shit. They did that like that.
They were a really cool society until they got fucked. But Kira's like pouting. Like Julian leaves and Kira's like, I don't want to have fun.
Dude, all these dorks who like love their job. Like fucking, I'd be like, all right, fine.
Yeah,
like whatever.
A day off? Fuck yeah, let's
Sounds
go.
great. Yeah.
But she starts drinking her juice, which I thought was alcoholic, but I don't know. It's called juice, so maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows, right? It could be like fake alcohol. It could be synthahol.
But like Commander Riker, the camera pans over and Riker's standing there, and he's like, "I hope you saved room for the unexpected." And she smiles.
Oh, and like my peener.
All I could think about, because I'd forgotten this episode, was like, wait, does Kira know him? I don't think so. And then it's proven that no, she does not.
Yeah.
This weird man just came up and started like in the middle of a sentence with her. But he was handsome, so she liked it.
He's so charming, it doesn't matter. Like he just is like, he finds his mark, right? And he's like a pickup artist, but like it's not really him, right? Spoiler alert. Yeah. And he doesn't want to fuck her. No, spoiler alert.
He's just using her to get what he wants, which is not sex for once for a dude.
Right.
But there's things in this episode that I hope I remember to point out, that there are like clues throughout the episode that he's not who he says he is, that are very subtle.
Yes, there's one that's not so subtle, and when I was watching it, I was like, wait, like why? I wanted to ask you because I don't remember why like he does the thing he does.
Is it when he's talking to O'Brien?
Yes.
Yeah, O'Brien doesn't know either. That's why he's so fucking confused.
And does he do it just to not talk to him?
Yeah, he wants him out because, like, if he spends too much time around him, he'll realize that he's not actually Will.
Yeah.
Smart.
It's so weird, though. I was like, wait, did he, like, transporter him wrong or something?
No, there's no reason he should be acting like that, which is why O'Brien's like, what the fuck? All right, I'll leave.
Yeah, he just takes it, though. He just, like, fucking... Poor O'Brien. Oh, man.
Yeah, I feel bad for him, but also, like, I don't think him and Riker were, like, close or anything, so he's just like, what the fuck did I do? All right, bye.
Yeah, but everybody on that show, like, if you're on the Enterprise, like, everyone, like, is your best friend, right? Like, whenever somebody meets somebody else, like, from that show, they're always like, we're best buds.
They're, like, or they think they are. Like, I'm very much remembering when, like, Worf shows up and O'Brien's like, Worf, my old friend. And Worf's like, yeah, all right.
Leave me alone.
All right, O'Brien, whatever. O'Brien's like, remember when we were best pals? And Worf's like, not really.
Does he come over to his house?
He does. And he's like, remember that one guy, the weaselly little dude? Barkley, I think his name was.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Wasn't he a riot? And Worf's like, please get out of my house.
Leave my domicile.
Anyway, that's a different episode. As a matter of fact, we made it to the break. And we talked about the beginning of the episode. So we will be right back after these messages, hopefully from a sponsor. Hit us up.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Amazing things can happen when you taste Reese's Puffs.
Wow.
Chris, no more riding you back to school. You'll be driven by a chauffeur from now on.
What?
Oh, and you can't go to the concert.
Yes.
So we're bringing it to you.
Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs. Eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up. I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl. And now my day's on cruise control. Just like that, I'm on the road. Peanut butter and chocolate too. You know how I do, that's what I wake up to. My Reese's Puffs inspired this rhyme. That peanut butter chocolate combination's on time.
The perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter flavor. Wow, it's Reese's Puffs.
Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs.
An extraordinary part of this good breakfast.
Now about your allowance.
Back to the show.
Welcome back from those messages. Hopefully, somebody gave us money to put that in there. If not, shit.
Hopefully Nintendo from 1989 gives us money from me putting in their commercials.
We could get like a cease and desist for that, actually.
Probably.
That'll be
but
fun.
Nobody will cares about us.
No, we got like 6 listeners. Nobody cares. Nah, at last count, we had like 1,500.
What?
Yeah. 1,500 listeners.
I was on the Discord today doing the hot poll.
Yeah, for those, there's so many meanings to that. There's for those who don't know, the Discord, which you can become a member of for as low as $1 over at patreon.com/mclasspodcast, has been doing series by series polls of who's the hottest character.
Yeah.
So far, TOS Uhura won.
Of course.
On TNG, Dr. Crusher won.
I don't agree with that, but okay.
I do. On Voyager, Tuvok won.
Yeah!
Tuvok is a sexy Vulcan, and they did Enterprise today.
Enterprise, yeah.
And somehow Hoshi won that one. I'm not sure how
I
the
voted
voting
for
went.
Archer. I voted for Archer. She was against T'Pol in the the finals for the female bracket.
Yeah.
And that was a tough one. I was like, oh man, I don't know. But
like if I would have been there in that and on that part of the voting, if it was T'Pol versus Hoshi, I would have voted Hoshi because I don't.
Well, that's what they assumed because it was a
Yeah.
tiebreaker, and they didn't want to wake you up. They said you were sleeping. I didn't think you were sleeping, but I wasn't gonna
I was sleeping at that point, so.
Oh, well then never mind.
I went out to my couch, and after they stopped drilling, I fell asleep on it. So.
Oh my god, couch sleeps. Oh yeah.
Couch sleep is really fucking good.
It's the best.
But yeah, I would have voted Hoshi against T'Pol because T'Pol is like a stick figure with fish lips. I'm not into it.
You always say that she doesn't have a butt, which, I mean, she's like really skinny in that show. Like she's like super
She's
thin.
buttless.
A buttless Vulcan.
Yeah. Some Vulcans have butts. Like
I don't think Hoshi has a butt though either.
I guess I never looked that much, but like she's not wearing a cat suit for you to really tell. So
yeah, that's why I voted for Archer. He's got a great butt.
Archer does have a good butt. I don't. That's the thing. So that was the tiebreaker that they voted for. They used me to vote in.
No, it was T'Pol.
Yeah, T'Pol and Hoshi was the tiebreaker.
That was
I thought it was Hoshi and Archer.
No, Archer would never. No, he wasn't. He was one behind, but it stayed that way.
I probably would have voted for Archer, to be honest.
Ooh, well, there you. I don't know. They gotta tell him this.
It's too late now.
Revote.
The vote is over now.
Are they gonna do? Are they gonna do like a bracket for all of the winners?
Yeah, they're doing champions bracket. We're actually hosting the champions bracket on our
I mean, I definitely knew
Patreon.
this. I definitely knew this.
Well, I don't tell Josh anything. I just do it. So
it works.
Yeah,
our marriage works.
It works. We're hosting the champions bracket on Patreon whenever that's done. I don't know whether they're gonna do Discovery or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they said they are going to.
They are. So
I mean, you kind of need to. You need more, right? Like
Yeah.
you need more. Yeah.
So after the Discovery one, I think that's probably gonna be it, and then we'll do the champions bracket. So if
They
you
don't
want to
do. They don't want to do like what animated series.
Well, of course, the Quetzalcoatl is gonna win.
Quetzalcoatl,
The Birdman, the Pterodactyl Man, definitely gonna be up there.
Yeah, the cat would win. The
cat.
Cadian would win.
Imres, I don't remember.
Is that the guy with like? Oh, no, that's the cat.
That's the
What's
cat.
the guy with the 3 arms?
I don't
3-arm
know.
guy.
3-arm guy. They were like, what can this alien have that'll make him weird? Just put an arm in his
3
chest.
arms.
Who cares?
I mean, if Tilly doesn't win for Discovery, I'm gonna be pissed.
Tilly on Discovery? Let me think.
Or Vegeta. Or
I
not
want
Vegeta.
Pike to
Frieza.
win.
Pike? He might win.
Pike is handsome as fuck. I want Pike to win.
What about the doctor's husband? No, the doctor. The guy, Angel from fucking
the scientist.
Yeah.
What? Stamets.
No, Stamets' husband.
Stamets' husband. Oh yeah.
He's got the dreamboat eyes. He's in He's in Party Monster. He's Angel in Party Monster.
He's very handsome.
He's from fucking what's that show from the 90s on MTV? My So-Called Life.
My So-Called Life. Freaks and Geeks.
I don't think he was on that.
If you would like to fix a problem, you, the listener, listening right now, could fix a problem that we have with this voting. And the problem is only like 3 or 4 people in the Discord are attracted to men sexually. So that becomes a problem when it comes to voting on hotness, because we always slant towards the women.
Yeah, I try to like expand like the requirements of what I find attractive. Like I find like personality type just as important.
Oh,
so
yeah,
like
I do too.
I vote for like, I mean, a lot of like the characters like I'm not real into, like if they were real, because they don't have like my very specific personality traits I need in a person. You know what I mean? So I'm all over the place. I'm just everywhere with it.
I mean, when I go at it, this is not the episode we're supposed to be talking about, but when I go to vote, I always vote based on attractiveness, regardless of whether I would want to have sex with them or not. Like, how attractive are they as a person?
As a person, yeah, no, that's how I do it.
That's probably not quite enough. I mean, we have our slant, but
yeah, because like to Paul, like she would be like really hard to deal with.
Yes.
What with the space heroin and all.
The Trillium D. If you'd like to fix this problem, you can head on over to patreon.com/mclasspodcast, and for $1 a month, you can gain access to the M-Class Discord, where, I don't know, there's like almost 100 people at this point. I don't know.
My god, I go in there and it's like I can't even, like, they don't even care that I'm there.
No, nobody gives a fuck that we're there. Like,
yeah.
It's not our Discord anymore, it's theirs.
It doesn't belong to us. It never did.
It never did. But they always do these fun activities. Like, they're the ones who did the Tapon's Theater on Subspace, radio show. They got together and did that together. So there's always a really fun thing going on there that you can become a part of for as low as $1 a month at patreon.com/mclasspodcast.
Get on it!
Now let's talk about this show, I guess.
Sure. This episode goes quick. I feel like we're halfway through the episode, to be honest with you.
We actually just started. But
I know, but like this episode, what happens in it? Nothing. I mean,
he steals the ship and then gets fucked over.
Yeah, so he's like, what's the word? Conning?
Yeah.
Is there like a word for it?
He's using subterfuge.
Yeah, he's pretending to be Will, but he isn't.
Well, technically. Anyway, he goes to Commander Sisko's office. Riker and Sisko have this fun little chat where they're like good pals.
Yeah, because they're both commanders.
Yeah, which is fucked. But anyway, Sisko is like, Deep Space Nine isn't really the place that people go on vacation. And he's like, I came to the station before on my way to Risa, although he calls it Risa.
Risa. Yeah.
And he's like, I spent time at Quarks, and by the time I was done, I was up like 100 Latinum, and I had a date with one of his Dabo girls, so I thought I'd try my luck again. Which is very Will Riker.
Yeah, of course he did.
And
Dabo!
Dabo!
Do you think he yelled that when he ejaculated?
I would. Personally. I
You think Dabo girls have never heard that one before? They're probably like, ugh.
You think that would ruin it for the Dabo girl if you did that? She'd just be like, ugh, alright.
What if you just started doing that, like, in your real life? Like, what if you just...
I don't think my marriage would last. I'll say that.
It could be the spice to, like,
I feel like that's a key to the door to a loveless marriage. Yelling Dabo every time.
Every time? Yeah, every time.
Every time. You gotta sprinkle that on like spice every now and then, right? You can't use it every time. That's a little tip for you people in a long-term relationship. Don't yell Dabo every time.
I've said some really, really ridiculous shit in the middle of sex before that could have gone either way. And luckily, it was usually a hit. Like, it was, like, pretty funny.
There's always that chance you're going to say something, and the person you're with is like, what?
What? Yeah, no. I knew my audience. I think it played well.
Nothing. But outside the office, like out in Ops, Dax is like, she notices Kira just keeps like looking back over and over and over at Riker in the office.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, do you? Who's that in the office?" And she's like, "Oh, it's Will. Commander William Riker.
Commander William Riker serial number."
And Dax is like, "Oh, Will, huh?" And Kira's like, "Oh, you know him? Yeah, like we played Dabo together last time when he came to Quarks. How do you know him?"
So they fucked.
And she's like, "Oh, we just talked." And she's like, "And then
For 3 hours.
Oh, you talked for 3 hours. Ha ha ha. Did you bone?"
Yeah, then Kira was like, "No, we just talked."
And Dax is like, "Boring," and goes back to work.
Did he yell Dabo at the end?
Dabo. They did not. At the end of talking for several hours, he did not yell Dabo. And
No, that'd be weirder than doing it during sex.
Would it though?
It would. I'd be like, what? What was that?
But Riker, like, he like, you're supposed to think, oh, it's cute. Like he's got this burgeoning relationship with Kira, isn't it sweet? Because
Right.
he's like waiting around the promenade for her to get off duty, and then he like accidentally runs into her, like accidentally.
Yeah, he mistakenly bumps into her. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm just like looking around. It's a fun place." And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to bed." And he's like, "Oh, all right."
Okay.
But then
And he does the slow heel. He does the slow turn. He's like, "Oh, well, I was just gonna go over here, I guess.
I guess I'm gonna leave.
Guess I'll just go masturbate in the holodeck."
And she's like, "Wait, do you want me to give you a tour?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then he's like, fucking smooth jazz just starts coming out of nowhere.
Just shake your rump.
But she's like, "Yeah, let me show you to my bedroom." And he's like, "Wait, I want to see the Defiant." And she's like, "Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay.
All right.
We'll go to my bedroom afterwards." And he's like, yeah, sure. Let's go see the
Plenty of
Defiant."
bedrooms in the Defiant. We could fuck in one of those tiny bunk beds.
It'll be an adventure. Let's go.
I'm 7 foot tall.
And I think Riker's the same height as me, actually. I think he's 6'3".
How tall is Jonathan Frakes?
He might be 6'4", now that I'm thinking about it, but he's pretty close to my height.
It doesn't tell me.
When you type in Jonathan Frakes' height, it would then tell you?
It says Patrick Stewart is 5'10". Michael Dorn is 6'3". Brent Spiner is 5'11". He's 6'3".
6'3". Me, Michael Dorn, and Jonathan Frakes, all the same height, all bone. It's great.
All bone. 6'3"
Each
of
other.
all bone.
We all bone each other, is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
yeah, well, yeah, that makes sense. You gotta be at the right height to bone the... You gotta only
It's true.
fuck someone who's your height.
It does. The puzzle pieces don't fit
they
together
don't
otherwise.
fit together, like Pangea.
That's how you know you're meant for somebody, when you fit together like Pangea.
This is like some wives' tale shit going on.
But they like enter their authorization code and handprints, and although before this I wanted to point out one of the things that like let you know that this Riker isn't what he seems is he runs into Dax and she's like, "Oh, don't tell me you don't remember me," and he's like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, of course."
He's like, "Oh, I was drunk." Like that's kind of what he says.
That night is a blur to me. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And this next moment happens when they get on board the Defiant. He's like psyched to be there, but O'Brien sees him and he's like, "Oh, Commander, I haven't seen you in forever."
Yeah.
And Riker's like, "Fuck off, you fucking potato breath bitch."
He's like, "I have nothing to say to you, O'Brien," and he gives him like the sternest, coldest look, and you're like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Shit, O'Brien himself is like, "What the fuck is happening?"
He thinks it's a joke for like a second, but then he's like, "Oh," like, and he's like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go."
I guess I'll
And you're
leave.
like, "What?" It's a really awkward moment, like in the scene. Like it's just a super
Yeah.
weird moment.
Kira's awkward as fuck. She's like, what was that about?" And he's like, it's better not talk about it. Show me more of this cool ship."
It's weird, like, that they even put that in. I guess they sort of had to, like, address it, right? Like, I think they felt like they needed to have them run into each other, because, like...
What really should have happened is, like, they should have walked past each other in the hallway or something, and like O'Brien was like, "Oh, Commander Riker, it's been so long." And
they should have been alone, yeah.
And he should have been like, "Oh, O'Brien, yeah, it's nice to see you, but I gotta go," and then leave really abruptly.
Yeah, he should have. Yeah, I don't know, because when O'Brien leaves, like he gets off the Defiant and he like does like a a cartoonish door look back where he's like, "What the hell?" He's all sad. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll go home and get. I guess I'll go get abused by my wife at home.
He has a nice marriage with his wife.
I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. They're weirdly combative with each other for people who are married.
Crazy. Like, anyway, a lot of the times, like, Keiko gets blamed for their fights and stuff because she's the lady, and like dudes are the ones that are judging it usually. But like O'Brien's usually like, "All right, honey, I'm home. Sorry I was gone for 76 hours and didn't help raise our child. I'm going to bed."
Well, there also was that one time when he almost fucked Kira, and like they fell in love with each other for one episode.
And fucking Keiko was real understanding about that shit. Yeah. She was like, "Well, I guess your love baby can live here." Anyway, O'Brien pisses off, and Riker's like, "Oh, why don't you show me some of these like modifications to the systems that you've done?" And Kira uses her authorization code to turn the bridge lockout off, and then Riker's like, "Thanks," and then stuns her with a phaser
right in the gut.
And she passes out. You're like, "Fucking Will, what are you doing? This is for sure Will Riker, the guy I love. What is he doing?"
Yeah, what's he doing?
And he beams aboard 2 fucking dirt farmers, and you're like, "Oh no."
Oh, right, the Maquis are here. Good, great.
I forgot we were done with this, not done with this plot line. Cool.
Yeah, we're not done until we're done, right? We're not done until it's over.
I love the Maquis.
Maquis, it's this like a fucking disease. Like, they're back again.
We gotta put the medicine on our crotch to get rid of the Maquis.
Oh, man.
So
wasn't enough that we got a whole show based off of half of these people. Fucking.
Yeah, they fucking dropped that quick, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They were like, "No, they're just in Starfleet now."
The red alert sounds, and everybody's like, "What the fuck? What's happening?" And it turns out there's going to be a warp core breach on the Defiant? How did this happen? Nobody even asks.
Fuck!
They're all just like, "Oh shit, that's bad."
Yeah. Yeah, and then Riker calls the ops and is like, "I'll steer the Defiant away, and then you can beam us out." And then Sisko's like, "But you're gonna blow my car up."
He's like,
"That's my baby."
He's like, "I guess we gotta go ahead."
Yeah,
and he's like, "O'Brien, beam him out of there." And he's like, "No, the shields are up."
What?
And then the Defiant fucking takes off. And you see this like completely bamboozled look on Sisko's face. He's like, "Fucking, I got got.
I got by a Riker.
What is happening?" And Riker's like, "Dirt farmers set a course for the Badlands." And then he takes his fucking dollar store mutton chops off.
Why did they do this? Why did they do a fake mustache reveal, but it's just his side? What the fucking hell? Like, wouldn't it be easier if he just grew the beard?
Here's the thing. Here are 2 things that make this reveal not make any sense. One, Thomas Riker already had a beard.
Right, he had a beard.
He did not have a goatee. He already had a beard when we last saw him. So him taking off the mutton chops to reveal he has a goatee tells us nothing.
Did Frakes not want to grow the whole beard? Like, what was there? Like, what's the deal?
Well, he had the whole beard for real for the rest of the episode. He had to shave it off for the stupid scene.
And then put fake ones on to peel. It's so insane to me that this is in a television show. Here's
the other thing that makes it not work. The audience of Deep Space Nine probably doesn't know who the fuck Tom Riker is.
Yeah, like who? Like, was it like a little cherry of like, this guy isn't Riker on top of the sundae that we already established? Like, we know it's not him, right? Like,
They have a scene that explains why the fuck this is in the show right afterwards.
But it's after the commercial break, so you gotta... But, like, why? I just don't get it. I don't get why they did it.
One of the fucking dirt farmers is like, congratulations, Tom. And if I was an audience member at home who had not seen the episode with Thomas Riker, I would be so unbelievably confused by this reveal. It would tell me nothing. Yeah.
It probably confused the shit out of people, but, like... I mean, that's why you have the scene after the commercial.
Well, yeah, but there's like a commercial break where you're just left like, what was I supposed to take away from that? What just happened?
You're at home watching commercials for like Gateway computers or whatever the fuck else was going on in the 90s.
Fucking Reese's Puffs just came out.
Friends is on.
Psyched about the commercial for Reese's Puffs having that dope rap song in it. Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs, peanut butter chocolate flavor.
Well, now I'm gonna have to find this and put it in.
And fucking, you're not paying attention to the delicious peanut butter chocolate mixture. You're thinking about who the fuck was that guy? Why was I supposed to know what that was? Did they mention that earlier in the show? Was I not paying attention?
Did I miss something? Did I get up to go to the bathroom and miss something important? What the fuck?
Was I daydreaming about the peanut butter chocolatey flavor and I missed it?
Now I think we know why, like, they kind of, spoiler alert, they kind of get rid of him, right? Because, like, this is, like, too much, right?
This is
like,
stupid as fuck.
Yeah, this is dumb as shit, right?
This is like an evil twin storyline, but the guy he's an evil twin of isn't even there.
He's not there. He's just off doing whatever else he's doing.
It's like... Yeah. It's like fucking the Masters of the Universe show where, like, the purple He-Man shows up and He-Man's not even fucking in it. Like, if he showed up in She-Ra... Everybody was like, He-Man!
Yeah.
I thought you were the real He-Man!
Why, where's the... Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's ridiculous, but... Yeah, people were probably so confused. They were probably like, what the fuck?
They're like, good job, Tom. And you're like, who the... What? What? Who is Tom? What is this?
I just don't think the peeling of the sideburn, I don't think that benefits anybody in any way at all. Like, at all. Like,
I think
there's no point to it.
It's supposed to be like a cartoony fun thing or whatever, but it's not. It's just dumb.
I mean, I think it feels like that now, right? But, like, when I was watching it, like, he does that, like, real hard stare, and you're like,
yeah, it's
damn.
dead serious. It is so serious. I'm thinking about, like, the writer's room thought it was funny.
They were laughing about it, maybe. Yeah.
We'll do it and we'll have it be 100% serious.
And then they do it and they're like, I can't believe they left that in. I can't believe they did that.
But when the scene comes by, Gold Dukat is drinking his fucking disgusting spoonhead juice. 100% spacist, baby.
Fucking shit I've ever heard in my life. Is it yamak sauce? Is that what he's drinking?
He's drinking his Kanar.
Kanar. Ugh, it's like oil. It's like
he's
fish
drinking
oil.
his fucking disgusting fish juice.
Sick, dude.
And
I always forget that he's in this episode, and he's, as always, amazing. He's amazing.
There's a really great scene that when we get to it, I want to talk about.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I know what you're talking about. I know. Which one it is.
He gets summoned to talk to Odo and who's in this episode and Cisco.
Sure.
And they give him like a little debriefing about who Thomas Riker is because the audience itself is confused as fuck at this point.
It's smart. They have to explain it to the audience, and also Dukat's like, wait, what the fuck happened?
He's like, all right, this is fun. This is a fun story that I'm sure made a really stupid episode of the show. But why am I here? And we as the audience are like, why is he here?
Yeah, what do you want from me? Right?
And they're like, well, like, it looks like the Maquis are involved. Thomas Riker has stolen the Defiant, and he's given it to the Maquis. And Dukat's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Dukat's like, that's like the most powerful ship in the fucking sector. He's like, it's a goddamn, like, nuclear submarine. Like, what the fuck are you doing letting him take it?
How could you possibly lose a nuclear submarine?
Like, it could fuck us all over 10,000 times. Like, what are you doing?
And he's very like straightforward when he tells them that Central Command on Cardassia is not going to believe anything they
No,
have to say.
they're gonna think that the Federation wanted the Maquis to take it because they're Cardassians, because they're fucking paranoid and crazy, right? Like they're nuts.
I watched these shows. I know who Thomas Riker is, and I still think it sounds like bullshit that you made up to get this to the Maquis.
Yeah, well, like, what, like, so they kind of, like, hand wave it away. They're like, oh, when he was on, like, Odo's like, well, when he was on the Gandhi, he was, like, joining these clubs that hated the Federation and stuff. And you were like, what the fuck?
Was
like, what?
He had political opinions that lined up with the Maquis or whatever.
What is he, like, my aunt on Facebook? Like, what, like, he, like, fucking, like, gets on a fucking, like, Maquis Facebook group, and he's like, oh my god, I'm not gonna vote for Donald Trump. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
the fucking... It's very hand-waved, and all you can think about is, like, didn't he have the same life experiences as Will Riker?
right. Like, why would this take him? Whatever.
Riker very much did not agree with the Maquis in the couple episodes of TNG that they're in.
Yeah, they're more similar than they're not. Like, I don't understand. Like, this makes no fucking sense. Like, from
It's straight out of nowhere.
It's just, they gotta get rid of him. They gotta, like, they were like, we need an episode, and we gotta get rid of him. He's just, we can't have this guy.
They could have just let him be wandering out there in the nowhere space that non-written characters live in.
Like,
that would have been fine.
Kirk's brother or whatever, isn't it?
Kirk's brother got killed.
Yeah.
George Kirk Jr.
Well, as long as George Kirk Sr. doesn't die, we're all good.
Thank God he survived, right?
He's the linchpin to this whole thing.
But yeah, he's like, yeah, there's gonna be a war. Like, this is stupid. This whole storyline that you're giving me is dumb, and there's going to be a war. And so you need to do something to show us that you're on the level, and I don't know what the fuck you could possibly do. And Sisko's like, well, I'll go with you to Cardassia Prime and help you destroy the Defiant.
Yeah, and he's like, destroy it? And he's like, well, I'm hoping we could just disable it. And Ducat's like, ah, yes, that's gonna happen.
He's like, nah, if you're coming with me, you're gonna destroy the ship. That's the only way this is gonna work. And
so
he's like, oh.
They're already setting up, like, this Sisko Ducat, like, an enemy thing. Like, this very much the early stages of, like, Ducat and Sisko hating the fuck out of each other.
Oh, yeah. The moment that I was talking about earlier is the moment Sisko reaches out a hand and gets slapped away.
Yep, because Cardassians are fucking crazy, man.
They're fucking monsters, dude.
They're insane.
Fucking
like,
spoonheads. Just dirty cardies.
I want to know, like, what the lady Cardassians do to the spoon part of the head with the blue. Is it makeup, or is it, like, are they born that way? Like, is it like a biological
It might be like
thing?
a female, like females of the species have that.
Right, like snakes, like certain snakes have, like, different markings if they're male or female.
Maybe so. It's like, it's just something that visually is distinctive. You know something I noticed in this episode that I'd never really thought about before? Why does every alien species introduced from, like, midway through TNG onward have the same haircut?
They use the same hair, people.
Like, all the way through the end of Voyager. Like, almost all the species they meet have straight hair slicked back. Away from their forehead appliance.
They can't... Because that's why. Because the prosthetics need to be... Like, you can't have hair around it.
Even Klingons have that, where the hair goes straight back from
also,
the
they want to show it. They want to show you
for sure.
How they do it, yeah.
But then, like, halfway through the episode, I realized that 90% of the characters in the show have that same hairstyle. Or some variation of it.
It's the style of the times. It's just how people be wearing their hair in 2369.
It's what Rachel's wearing on Friends that season. It's the Rachel of the 24 whatevers.
Oh my god.
But anyway, Sisko agrees to go with Ducat to Cardassia Prime, and they're gonna destroy the Defiant. And you're like, no, we just got this cool ship.
It's so cool, I love it.
On board the Defiant, Riker apologizes to Kira. He's like, I'm sorry I shot you in the guts. I'm sorry if you can't ever have kids. I apologize. But I had to do it because of Maquis things.
He was like, I would have shot you in the guts one way or another.
God. Anyway,
Hey, and then he does like this crazy like dance on the bridge, and you're like, all right.
he does that
dude.
like server dance. He's like, yeah.
He's like popping and locking, and Kira's
fucking-
like, oh my god,
Kira's
I
like,
almost fucked
Jesus.
this idiot.
She's like holding her temple, like, Jesus Christ, I almost let him do it. I almost let him do it.
Almost let him fuck me. It would have been terrible.
But he's like, yeah, I can't help that I shot you because it's duty. It's duty to the Maquis. I'm not gonna tell you why I'm working with the Maquis and why this is
Right.
important to them, but it is.
Well, she kind of is like, why are you doing this? And he's like, there's people dying in the neutral zone. And she's like, man, people are gonna fucking die everywhere because you're doing this. Like, this is
Yeah.
like crazy.
More people are gonna die in a day since you took this ship that have died in the entirety
Right.
of the border skirmishes.
Right. It's,
And the thing is, the border skirmishes only exist because the Maquis militarized and started attacking the Cardassians.
right.
So it's hard. It's the Maquis don't work on a lot of levels that I've talked about, but one of the ones that are specific that I feel like is a difficult thing to argue against is you can't be the aggressor and the victim.
Yeah, well, that's
Like,
like
you
sort
can't
of the
start the war and also be the victim.
that's sort of the like. I mean, they talk about like terrorism later, right? Like, and
Oh, yeah.
Kira talks about like how the Bajorans were terrorists, like, and all terrorists like care about are like killing the enemy, like, and but like the
Hurting
Bajorans,
enemy is all they care about. Yeah.
but the Bajorans like obviously like are like the kind of terrorists that like needed to be terrorists, right? Like they were being occupied and
Yeah,
exterminated.
they're what we would call a rebellion.
Right, they were the rebellion, yeah. But, like, the Maquis, like, they could just go anywhere they want and never have to deal with this shit.
Yeah, they could also just live in the demilitarized zone.
Yeah.
Like, the Cardassians aren't doing anything to them that we know about until they start the border skirmishes.
If it
They
would
don't
be,
even
man,
mention any of that shit. They're like, oh, we're owned by the Cardassians now, so we're gonna fight back. But what did they do?
yeah, I don't know, man. If it were me, I'd be like, we're leaving. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
sticking.
I'd be
These,
like, let's
these
go to
guys are,
Ryza.
yeah, right? I'd be like, these people are fucking crazy. I'm not sticking around here.
Yeah, let's live on Ryza. But they
Ryza.
head towards the Ryza. They head towards the Federation Cardassian border, and Cisco and Ducat arrive on Cardassia Prime, and there's only one set, so you don't get to see any of the cool Cardassia Prime stuff.
Are they on Prime or are they on a ship? I don't remember.
They're on Prime. They're at the High Command, the Cardassian War Room.
Oh, right. So there's a bunch of, like, Cardassia, like, nonsense.
Yeah. It's like the main war room on Cardassia Prime, and there's like 4 people in it.
It's kind of not a great setup.
No. But there's a Obsidian Order observer whose name is Corinus.
Yeah,
Corinus. Her name is Corinus.
Yeah, she's real business, down to business.
Yeah, and it made me remember that Cardassians only have one name,
Oh,
Like-
right. They don't have, like, a
Yeah.
family name or whatever.
which I'd completely forgotten about because
Well,
I'm so
most
used to
lizard-
Gull something.
Yeah, most lizards only have one name.
Like pet lizards.
Yeah. Like snakes.
Petey the
Petey.
lizard.
Yeah.
But he meets Corinus, who is like, she straight up walks around and goes, secure that monitor, secure that monitor, secure that
Turn that
monitor.
off. Stop playing that video game. Yeah.
And Cisco's like, yeah, I would have done the same thing, but I probably would have been a little bit more secretive about it and not just announced it.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah. I forget, like, what, like, she starts, like, kind of, like, testing him, right? Where, like,
yeah,
she
she's
wants
like,
to see
tell
what...
us the armament. The
Start with the phasers. And he's like, oh, slow down.
He's like, well, first I need to tell you that we have a cloaking device.
Right.
And she shocks everybody in the room where she's like, I was wondering when you were going to tell us about that.
Right.
Even Gul Dukat's like, you knew and you didn't tell us?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, that's on a need-to-know basis, and you
So
didn't need to know.
They're setting up, like, also this, like, Obsidian Order thing, which we'll see, like, at the end of this
There's a
season.
power struggle on
Yeah.
Cardassia Prime that the Cardassian Central Command does not even know exists.
Right. Like the Obsidian Order has like run like rampant, and they talk about it like later. Ducat's like, well, the military and like the government just do their own thing, and then the Obsidian Order just does their own thing, and then Sisko's like, that's pretty inefficient, and he's like, well, it's worked for 500 years, and it's like, yeah, well, it's about to fucking not work, dude. Like, it gets bad.
So Ducat's like freaked out. He's like, how could you not tell us, right? And she's like, none of your fucking business. Sisko mentions the anti-proton beam that the Dominion used.
To see the cloak, yeah.
Which is like crazy that nobody figured that out, since anti-proton beams aren't like rare.
Right, but they don't know how it works, really, though. Like they kind of
they don't know
like
the specifications or anything of how
to
use it.
Like what does it do? Like they don't really know. They just know that like it's like an anti-proton beam. Like so, it's kind of like the secret weapon, which like is kind of a big deal. That like Sisko is like, look, we'll figure out how to do this, but like it doesn't really matter anyway in the end because like the Dominion just takes over Cardassia anyway, so they would have found out anyway or whatever. But
well, the anti-proton beam, like, it seems like someone in the Federation should have figured that out, since there's so much time and effort put towards trying to figure out how to battle ships that use cloak, because the Federation isn't allowed.
Well, they use the
everybody else
tachyon grid. Like, the Federation uses the tachyon grid, so they just fly big fleets into, like, areas, and then they, like, link to each other, and then if a ship flies in between them, they know. That's how they do it.
It's a little unreliable and clunky.
Yeah, it's
because
too
you have
much.
to have multiple ships.
Yeah, there's not a one-ship solution, right? You need...
all it takes is, in order to ruin your tachyon field, is for one of those ships to be destroyed before you can find the hidden ship.
Yeah.
But that didn't get discovered yet. And I mean, everything is discovered in its own time, so it might just be that Federation scientists hadn't cracked that nut yet.
Yeah,
right?
the Federation's kind of dumb about cloaking technology. Like, we're, like, I say we, like, we're the Federation. I guess we are.
We are, man.
But, like, we're, like, idiots, because we don't have it, and then, like, when we get it, we're like, how does this shit work? Like, we don't know, right?
We're very much like, they'll uncloak before they attack us.
Yeah.
Well, they do,
that's
because you have
rules.
to.
Yeah, that's part of the rules.
Anyway, the Defiant passes into Cardassian territory and attacks Outpost 61.
Nice. And, that's the sex number on Cardassia.
Oh, 8 degrees colder, I guess.
They're cold-blooded.
They're watching this on a screen that looks like the map from Star Fox.
Yeah, it's cool.
And, like, the little ships are going bloop, bloop, and Sisko notices that the warp signature is wrong, so it's a decoy, and he has Ducat recall the Gull Tauran ships, but it's too little too late. The Defiant destroys Outpost 47 completely before anyone can even react.
Awesome.
And then just cloaks and pieces out, fucking breaks out.
See ya.
And the last heading they were on is going to take them directly into the heart of Cardassian space.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Cornus is like, you should be commended, Commander Sisko. It would be great if we had someone who had any sort of ability as a tactician on our side.
It's, oh man, it's this whole, like, only the strong survive, like, Sith-like war mentality that the Cardassians have. Like, everything's a test. Like, very, like the Romulans. Like, everything's a test, right? Like, but I love it. I love Gul Dukat's reaction. He just sort of sits there and he's like, okay, all right.
He's harmed.
Yeah.
He's, like, harmed by it. He's like, fuck, she's right. All those people died. I fucked up. That's going to be a mark on my record. He doesn't care about the people who died.
Yeah, he doesn't care about any of that.
People are going to think I'm incompetent. Oh, no.
Yeah. Yep.
Back on... Well, actually, let's take another break.
Okay.
We will take another break, and we'll return with the finale of this episode after these messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Centurion! Power Extreme! And Machine!
Evil Doc Terror and Hacker battle Centurions Max Ray and Ace McCloud. The Centurions call for more powerful weapons. Energize. Max gets Tidal Blast. Ace gets Orbital Interceptor. They strike back with added firepower. Max by sea. Ace by air.
Centurion! Power Extreme!
Man Machine.
Figures as shown, other toys sold separately. New from Kenner.
Back to the show.
Welcome back from those messages, folks. We're gonna talk a bit more about Star Trek, if you'll allow us.
Yeah, that's why you're here, right? Hopefully.
After Dukat gets dunked on by Cornus and by the Defiant, Tom Riker sets course for a planet called Omekla 3, and Kira realizes that that's where a shipyard is.
Sure, blow up a bunch of ships. Fuck it.
And she also realizes that there are like a billion more important targets to hit. And Riker says, "Not if you got a cunning plan like me."
Yeah, he kind of is like, I hope that's what they're thinking, like, because then they won't realize where we're going or whatever. And that's when she's like, look, like, if I had the Defiant when we were fighting the Cardassians, like, I would have fucking... oh, did you?
Yeah, that all happens later. Fuck.
Oh, whatever.
We can talk about whatever, whenever. It doesn't matter.
But if she's like, if I had the Defiant, like, I would have fucked these bitches up, dude.
Yeah, it would have been nothing but death and destruction as far as the eye could see.
Yeah. I mean, you have a fucking ship that just could blow up a planet. Like, it's like crazy. Like, what would you do with it?
I would go to Ryza. Kira is like, she's in like a bedroom basically, but she like opens the panel on the wall and sabotages the cloak by just like opening up a plasma manifold.
Right.
And it just blows plasma fucking everywhere.
Like, is that might be like a flaw that you might want to look into?
Yeah, that's so
like
unsafe.
if you're in a bunk area and you can open the panel and just like fuck the cloak up, like, what are you doing?
Let me open the window in the sub.
Hey, someone's like venting plasma. What is that? I don't know.
So one of the dirt farmers is treating Kira's injury.
Oh, she gets burned, yeah.
Yeah, she gets plasma burns, which is like nothing in the future, I guess.
Yeah, they'll just like give you a new arm. Like, here you go.
But Riker's like, you're coming with me to the bridge because we all want to be able to keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's no place to vent plasma anywhere near you.
It's not as dangerous as being in a bunk.
Come to the bridge. You can't just hit the fucking self-destruct button or anything.
What could go wrong?
Cisco and Dukat are supposed to be planning strategy, but Dukat is distracted. This is a really great scene.
This is amazing. This is amazing, yeah.
He's talking about his son Mikor's 11th birthday.
He's 11 years old. Happy birthday, Mikor.
And Mikor wants his father to take him to the amusement center, which is like... So Cardassian.
Yeah. Would you like to go to the amusement center, Mikor?
The amusement center. It's straight down.
That sounds adequate.
It's straight down the street from the torture center.
They're both sometimes.
They do connect in the middle.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, but I won't be able to take him because work came up, and you know that happens. And Cisco like smiles. And he's like, you know, the same thing happened with Jake on his birthday one year.
Yeah.
You only hope that one day when he's old enough, he'll understand why you weren't there.
Yeah.
And he has his hand out, metaphorically, like, we're not so different, you and I.
Yeah, he's doing the Starfleet thing, right? He's being a Starfleet guy. Like, oh, maybe we can like bridge these gaps. Maybe we're all not so different.
And Dukat slaps his hand away. He says, you know, he's not gonna think back on this day and understand what I was doing. All he's gonna remember is that this day a Federation officer on a Federation ship invaded my home and kept my father away from my birthday. And that's so sad.
It's such a microcosm of what is to come. Like, that's their entire relationship in a nutshell. It's true. That conversation.
Cisco tries to find common ground because he is a Federation man deep in his heart.
Right.
And on the surface, through and through, he's a Federation man. He makes some decisions later on that...
A warrior later, yeah.
He makes some decisions that aren't Federation, but in his heart of heart, in his true self, he is a Federation man. So he puts his hand out. Like, we're not so different. We both have sons that we've disappointed that we wish we could be better for. Right. And Dukat just says straight up, you're the reason why I disappointed my son. I didn't disappoint him.
Yeah.
And it's your Federation that causes all of this. And Sisko just fucking takes it. He just walks away. You know, what else do you say to that?
Yeah, you can't argue with that. That's where we're at right now, right? Yeah. Like, it makes... Man, the Cardassians, like... Yeah, it's kind of like they need to get their planet fucked up a little bit to see what's going on.
They don't even learn their lesson that well.
No,
if it wasn't for Damar being the hero of Cardassia and everything, they probably wouldn't have learned any lesson at all.
They do in online. They're, like, pretty okay in online, because they like, get the shit kicked out of them by everything. So they're kind of, like, humbled a little bit. They're not so, like,
it's true.
Fucking
They're
terrible.
not the Cardassian Star Empire anymore.
Yeah, the Cardassian. What is it? What is that? What they are? What's the Cardassian Empire?
I think it's the Cardassian Empire. It's also the Romulan Empire. Cardassians are just updated Romulans. They were like,
yeah.
I feel like Ronald D. Moore was like, these guys are too close to Vulcans. I don't want them on my show.
It makes sense that it was, like, I think it's cool that, like, it is them. Because, like, you kind of forget about them, right? And you're kind of like, oh, whatever, who cares about the Cardassians?
Yeah.
And then, like, they wind up fucking everybody over. It's great.
They end up being, like, for a little bit at the beginning of the show, they're, like, the major antagonists. And then they fall in line with an even bigger antagonist. It's like Rita Repulsa when Lord Zed shows up.
Oh, man, what a great analogy. And Lord Zed's like, I'm taking over. I'm the captain now. I'm the captain now. I'm gonna be making the big clay monsters.
Apparently, I didn't watch any more Power Rangers after that, but apparently that continues, where they just, like, the bad guys from the previous season sticks around and another one shows up.
Oh, they get another bigger bad guy.
By the point, like, I think of Power Rangers in space, there's, like, bad guys from, like, 6 seasons all work under the new bad guy.
They're like the fucking Legion of Doom. What do they do? What are they talking about all day?
If I'm wrong, don't tell me. I don't care.
Don't you hate Jason the Red Ranger? Who? He's been on the show for 5 years, dude.
Who the fuck is that?
I hate that prick.
Do you mean Rocky the Red Ranger? And the third guy walks up like, who?
Who? Oh, God. I heard Tommy beat his wife.
I believe that through and through.
Is that what he did, or did he, like, commit, like, assault or something?
I think he's just a prick, honestly. I think he's just a prick. Asshole.
I don't want to... The Cody from Step by Step beat his
he's
wife.
The one who beat his wife, yeah.
I don't want to confuse my assholes here.
This is when Kira notices that the target is Omekla 3 shipyard. And she gives him this big speech about how if he was a true terrorist, he doesn't have the stomach for being a terrorist. He's trying to be a hero, which he can't
you don't
be.
you don't get to be a hero and be a terrorist. It doesn't work.
But Riker also tells her that that shipyard isn't just used for regular Cardassian ships.
Yeah, he knows, like, some secret shit, which, like, we don't know about yet, but we'll find out about.
Yeah, they're building up a secret invasion force that only the Obsidian Order knows about.
Yeah, which, like, is later. We'll see this later.
Yeah, this is gonna become a recurring theme.
Deal. This is a big deal.
Sisko is talking to Dukat, and he realizes that the Maquis have a plan. They're not just attacking random spaces.
Mm-hmm.
They're attacking places in order to make sure that one sector is left alone without any warships, the Orias system.
Right.
This is very much a Starfleet plan. You only attack what you absolutely have to in order to make certain that the actual target is free.
Right.
Never harm more than is absolutely necessary to achieve the goal.
Right, which is, like, the exact opposite of how, like, a terrorist works.
Yes, it's very Starfleet, not very terroristic.
Yeah.
the Orion system is the one that they're aiming for. And Ducat's like, oh, well, we'll send Gul Renor and his ships to the Orion system. And Coronus, the Obsidian Order lady, is like, if you do, they'll be destroyed.
Don't go there. She's like, don't do it.
Don't go there, girlfriend. That's what she says.
And then Gul Ducat's like, well, why the hell not?
She's like, that system is under the Obsidian Order's protection, and if you go anywhere near it, we're gonna shoot you with our big, big guns.
And Ducat's like, fuck you, man, we're going. He's like, you can fucking, like, file a protest. I don't give a fuck. We're going, man.
Yeah, Ducat's like, you better fucking talk to the high command about that shit.
Yeah.
And he goes and checks up on her information with the Obsidian Order, and they absolutely refuse to give him any info about the Orion system.
Which
Zero.
Is normal. Pretty normal. Just normal things happening.
However, the Kraxen, which is a great name for a ship.
Yeah.
The Kraxen, Gul Renor's ship, found a neutrino leak out in space. They think that it might be nothing because it's not moving. Right. But Tom Riker, being a dumbass, makes a run for the Orion system. And they can follow his ship because of the neutrino leak.
Yep.
So Ducat orders every ship he can to follow, but none of them can catch it because the Defiant is super dope.
It's, dude, when like later when it shoots that ship, you're like, holy fuck, this thing is ridiculous.
It absolutely fucks up that ship.
Dude, no question. It's so cool. I love the Defiant.
3 Keldon class ships. I thought they were saying Kelvin, but it's apparently
Keldon. I always said Keldon.
Yeah, it's Keldon apparently.
Yeah.
They appear out of nowhere. They come out of the Orion system, and Ducat's like, Coronus, who are those ships? What do they belong to? Where are they from? And she's like, that's none of your fucking business.
Yeah. So Keldon are like the big, like they're like the big, like they're kind of like the size of like the Enterprise D, like they're real big.
Ducat like straight up says the Obsidian Order is like forbidden to possess military equipment because they're not the military. They're an intelligence
nobody
agency.
told them that.
And Coronus is like, whatever.
Yeah, she kind of smiles and's like, yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Do what I want. Do what I want. You can't stop me.
Yep.
Thomas Riker is straight up like, we're going to go to our deaths. This is going to be a glorious death, and I'm going to be way better than Will Riker. And there's nothing he can do about it.
Right.
And Kira straight up tells him, like, this is less about the Maquis, and it's more about you trying to be different and better than Will Riker. And he has this line that he says dead seriously that I find so funny. He says, you shouldn't go fishing today. You won't catch anything. I understand what he's saying, but it's such a goofy phrase.
In the frame of like what's going on, it's stupid. Like it's some folksy wisdom, but it's like, yeah, man.
He learned that up in Alaska.
Yeah, he's an Alaskan boy through and through. Yeah.
Cisco makes a deal with Ducat. It's kind of a hard-fought deal. They have a little bit of an argument back and forth about it.
Yeah.
He wants them to surrender the ship and the crew to the Federation, and in return, he'll give the sensor logs, which have scans of the Orion system, to Ducat and the Central Command, which anything the Obsidian Order is hiding is in those scans.
Which, like this is, like, a smart play. Like, I think, like, I don't know. I think Ducat gets, like, kind of screwed here because like on one hand, like what does the Federation need to know about it, right? Like they don't really, I mean, I guess like from a military standpoint they would want to know also, obviously they would want to know, but like at least now they know that that's there and they can kind of deal with that like later.
At this point Ducat doesn't know what's in the Orion system. I mean, he can probably piece it together, but he's really stupid.
Right.
And he has no proof either. Like, the Central Command isn't going to believe that the Obsidian Order, which is like a branch that's supposed to just be intelligence, is plotting against them. That's like, they're going to need proof. So this gives him the proof he needs. However, he wants that pot sweetened a little bit. He wants some blood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you need Cardassians need a show trial. They need a thing, right?
Yeah, they need someone to show the rightness of Cardassian justice.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We learn all about that later.
Yep.
But Dukat, he wants Tom Riker, and he wants to take him to Cardassian justice. And Sisko, like, I don't know if I would want this or not. I don't think if Sisko made the right move here. He wants the death penalty taken off the table, which means that Tom Riker is going to have to spend the rest of his life in a labor camp.
I would rather be dead.
Yes, me too.
I'd be like, you can just kill me. That'd be fine.
Yes, please give me the death penalty, please.
Yeah, I don't want to, like, have to suffer for, like, as long as I'm going to... Like, it's
for my
horrible.
whole life. Until I die.
Yeah, they'll probably keep you alive.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
For a while.
They'll do whatever they can to keep you alive. They need that sweet, sweet labor.
Yeah.
The Defiant turns, like, ships are in front of the Defiant, so the Defiant, like, engages them. And they fucking destroy them in battle. They leave them whole, but they completely destroy them with, like, 2 shots each. The Defiant is awesome.
Fucking machine gun phaser shit. It's like, and they're just like done. And you're like, what the fuck, dude?
But
that ship's crazy.
At this point, 3 more ships come from the Orion system, and they're also being followed by like 5 or 10 ships.
Yeah, there's more ships.
So there's literally nothing the Defiant could do to survive at this point. But Riker is on a suicide mission. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But that's when Dukat and Sisko show up on his screen, and they tell him about the deal they've struck. He has to give himself up. He has to be serve life in a labor camp, but his crew, his dirt farmers, get to go back to the Federation. And the
they stay in trial. Well. Yeah, they get to stay in trial in like the Federation. So they'll like be in prison, but it'll be like painting is at 2, swim class is at 3.
It's when you like you need to clean the leaves out of the gutters, like Tom Paris prison, right?
Yeah, like you get to wear like it's like casual Thursday. You get to wear like jeans.
Yeah, you pretty much just clean the grounds and hang out in the building. That's what you do.
It's like what I imagine like Swedish prison is, like prison in Sweden.
Nobody gets butt plugged in a Federation prison unless they're into it.
Unless it's conjugal butt plugging.
Yeah. Riker agrees to the deal because Kira kind of talks him into it.
Yeah.
And they have to get away from the Obsidian Order ships because they're trying to blow the Defiant out of the sky. They don't want the Defiant system scan logs being used against them.
Right.
They make it to the Kraxen, who put their shield up around them.
Yep.
And Riker sends the logs over. It's not a trick. He's doing the honorable thing.
He did it. He's a good boy.
Kira lies straight to his face and says that they're gonna save him. And Riker,
we'll come back for you.
Riker gets the last kiss he's ever gonna get.
Oh, it's a good last kiss though, man.
Yeah, Kira is super into it as well. She
like kind of. She wouldn't admit it, but she's kind of into that terrorist shit. That kind of gets her going. That's like a thing.
Like every Bajoran guy she gets with used to be a terrorist, so...
Did you blow up Cardassians? Oh my god, get in my guts.
That's probably...
what she, yeah.
Wish we didn't use that so much. That's probably, like, eventually why she started to get into Odo when he started, like, fighting back against the fucking founders and stuff. She was like, this is kind of like terrorism. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And Odo can just get all up in those guts.
Oh, my God. You're not wrong, but, you know.
He can just turn himself into a tiny little guy and go up in there.
This episode written by Brandon Braga.
It's me, Brandon Braga. Wouldn't it be cool if Odo went inside of a vagina? All right, Brandon. Good stopping by the writer's room today.
Hey, I've got another idea, guys. Wouldn't it be great if, Odo went to the goo planet that all the goo people are from, and they formed into a Voltron, but it was a giant naked woman, and then he went up her vagina?
We'll think about it. We'll think about that one. There's room for that, I think.
No,
we'll
you
figure it out.
You didn't write it on the board. Voltron vagina. Write it. Write it.
I want to watch you write
Write it slower.
Slower with that marker. Oh, yeah. Markers are also my thing.
Only when they write about giant vagina.
Yeah, it's just the word giant and vagina.
This is like the second time in a week span that I've called you Brandon Braga over something.
It's because that's what I'm talking about, man. That dude loves this shit.
He's a big fan.
Patreon.
He's on the Patreon because we keep mentioning it. We keep mentioning giant lady vaginas, and he's like, "Oh, give me that good content. $5 a month, $10 a month. How much do I need to put in to where you'll make it happen?"
God, maybe there'll be a Rich Masters about it. That's what Rich should do. Rich should do like Brandon Braga's top 10 most fantasized episodes.
I will not read those on the air.
No, those are just for Brandon. That's me, Brandon.
Ronald D. Moore has a quote about this episode.
Okay.
He says, "We talked early in the year about doing an episode with Tom Riker. Early on, we had played with the idea of Tom being the leader of the Maquis movement, that we would suddenly notice that the Maquis were getting a lot better out there and kicking some serious butt. Why? Because Tom Riker has defected. He's their general."
Okay, I'm glad they didn't do that.
Instead, their general is like a tiny, weak Canadian man that loves Les Mis. He loves it.
Oh, God.
He's like, you thought I was Michael Eddington, but actually I was Jean Valjean.
Dude, that fucking guy, Eddington.
Eddington sucks. The thing is, they don't even try and make you feel like... They don't even try to make you like Eddington. He's like a piece of shit from the minute he shows up.
Yeah, he's skeevy, like, real early. You're kind of like, what is this? But then he, like, wins you. Like, they, like, write him.
He never won me over. He never won me over at all. I always thought he sucked. I was like, this guy blows. Get him out of here.
He's the perfect general for the Maquis.
Yeah, because they also blow.
They're lame. They're all lame.
The thing is, the Maquis are hard to get behind in a lot of ways, but visually, couldn't they have had, like, a cool outfit or something? They all look like shit.
Yeah, I hate that they just wear, like, their fucking farm outfit. It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. What would
Couldn't
you give them,
all dress
though?
like cool space ninjas? That'd be awesome. I would love you then.
Yeah, they need
Could you
something,
imagine if instead of taking his dumb sideburns off, Riker like reached down below the collar of his neck and pulls up a fucking ninja mask and puts it on?
He puts a hood on.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, they should have done that.
Instead, the Maquis suck and they'll never be cool.
Yeah, well, they're done. They're gone. Federation tried to tell them, dude. Federation was like, you guys don't want to do this. And then they were like, nah, fuck you, Dad. And then like, well, guess what? You didn't really want to. You were fucking with a beehive nest that you couldn't deal with. Prodding that.
The thing is, the internet was around at this point, right?
Yeah, like
they talk about it. They talk about IRC boards and stuff having an effect on like what they wrote.
Oh wow!
And there's absolutely no way viewers like the Maquis, or they wouldn't have got rid of them so fast.
It's like we talk about it all the time, and I'm always like more on the side of being like a Maquis apologist. But like, it's like there's something there. Like there is something to this. But like
the thing is, I feel there is some way to do the easiest way to do this story in the Star Trek universe is have a world that's not part of the Federation, have a people who aren't part of the Federation, who've lived on these worlds their whole lives.
Yeah,
like they've lived on these worlds for as long as we've lived on Earth.
Right.
Like the Maquis make perfect sense then.
Then it makes
and I would agree with them wholeheartedly. Like the Federation gave up their ancestral homeworld so that they wouldn't have to get into a war. That's like I understand the Maquis at that point.
Right? Maybe
the Maquis
you do
are
that.
Just a bunch of fucking like hipster ass kombucha swilling fucking like
cold brew drinking.
Yeah, like hipsters. They're like, oh, we're farmers out here.
We're at a cooperative. Maybe like that's when like the Native American aspect of the Maquis comes in, because like the Native Americans from the Federation are like, they're like, well, the Federation is doing to these people what America did to us. Like, maybe that's where, like, Chakotay comes in. You know what I mean? Like, maybe
sure, but even
some of them
that doesn't make
over.
sense, since, like, these aren't their worlds. They were just a bunch of Class M planets that didn't have people on it that they went to 16 years ago. Right,
but, like, but I'm just trying to, like, make it so, like, maybe, like, that's where you get some of, like how Tom does. Like, Tom does it in this episode. He's like, I just, like, think we should fight for them. You know, like, they just, like find these causes. Like,
there
like
are ways
hipsters
to make it
like
work.
fucking hipsters.
Yeah, there are ways to make it work. And I think the absolute easiest way is to make them an alien race that have always been there.
Yeah, I think that's, like, yeah. That makes it more meaningful, and it makes it more complicated.
And, like, it could be that they've been part of the Federation for a long time, as well. Like, their ancestral homeworld, they believed in the Federation. They joined because they believed in what it was. And the Federation gave up their ancestral homeworlds so that they could stop... They didn't have to fight the Cardassians.
Right, that's, like, way shitty.
Yeah,
that's,
and
like,
you
way
understand why the Federation did it, though, because, like, if you don't do it, then it's open war.
They're gonna die. They're gonna die anyway.
Yeah, but you absolutely understand why these, like, fake Maquis created feel the way they do.
It fits with the World War II lead-up that is this show, right? Like, this is kind of like the World War II of Star Trek, where, like, there's appeasement going on, where, like, the Federation is just trying to avoid it, don't want to do this again, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we just had our World War with the Borg.
Yeah, like, maybe we don't want to do this so quickly, but, like, in the end, like, it's not the right thing to do, right? They should have taken Kara Cardassia, like, not selling Patton, but we should have rolled through Germany and just gone into Russia. Like, fuck it. That's what, you know.
The whole Maquis is very much like a surface level thing. It works on a surface level as long as you don't examine it in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
As soon as if you, like, scratch it with your thumb, you realize that it's made out of paper. It's not an actual anything substantial. Your thumb just goes right through.
Yeah, it's not great, and, like, I'm glad that this show kind of deals with it on its, like after this, there's, like, maybe 1 or 2 more episodes, right, with it, and then it's done.
Well, the thing is, as well, like, I always talk about Voyager being, like, missed opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
The Maquis could have been done very well in Voyager. Because you don't have to worry about their dumb movement. You just know that they're counter to the Federation and they have this reason why or whatever.
Right,
and
but that's the one where they just kind of hand wave it the most.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so weird.
Absolutely.
That makes sense because, like,
it could have worked, like, you have the marriage of the two ships and they were just enemies. That's a great concept.
Right.
Like, you have to work with your enemies in order to overcome a worse enemy.
Right.
Instead, they all become best friends forever except that one lady.
Yeah, who's, like, the bad guy for, like, one...
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that show is so
There's a
bad.
spoiler that makes it even that doesn't even fucking make sense. Which makes Chakotay look like the fucking biggest fool that's ever lived. And he is.
Dude, that show sucks so hard.
I'm so glad that I never have to see Tom Riker ever again, man.
Well, they got rid of him. He's gone, except for in season 8 of Rich Masters.
Oh yeah,
he's back.
Does he die in that? Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does. He should have died in this.
He should have died in this. It's like they wanted to get rid of him in a more specific way. Like, he's not just in the Federation anymore. He's gone. There's only one Will Riker in the Federation now.
Yeah.
And Rich Masters was like, no, he's not gotten rid of hard enough. Now there's only one Will Riker on the plane of the living.
And one on the plane of the dead. Oh my God. Yeah, well, you know, I'm glad he's gone, I guess, because, like, I don't know. Could they have just let him just go off into the sunset? Probably, right? Like,
yeah, they could have just not brought him up again. And it could have been one of the things that you just don't mention anymore that happen in Star Trek all the time.
Do you want to, like, Richie Cunningham's brother him? Do you want to, like, send him upstairs and, like, never bring him down?
Chuck Cunningham him.
Like, I don't know. I guess, like, you gotta get rid of him, right? But, like, getting rid of him like this is, like, half-ass.
The thing is, as well, like, this character didn't need to exist. He was just a silly concept. He should have died in the cave in the first episode.
He should have.
He should have died, like, it should have been, like, switched, where Will is the one that's about to fall, right? He's like, and Tom is holding on to him, and he pulls him up, and he gets him to the top of the bridge, but then his part of the bridge falls off, and he dies. He like saved Will.
Fate wants him to die. The universe is like Final Destination.
Yeah, we don't need 2 Will Rikers.
Yeah, no, that's unnecessary. I don't know. There's some cool shit in this episode with Dukat. Like, Dukat's always great, right? So that's worth it. And it moves, like, this episode moves the plot forward. Like, it's good for the show. Like, with the Obsidian Order and Dukat and all that shit. Like, that all matters later. So,
it's true.
But
there is stuff that's good in this episode, but Tom Riker isn't really one of them.
No, he's kind of superfluous. Like, and like we were talking before that we recorded. Like, I was like, this episode's not bad. Like, it's not terrible,
it's
right?
It's not that bad at all. It's probably one of the best Maquis episodes you get, besides the final Maquis episode,
which is great because they all die. What's great about, I think, like, it's one of those episodes in DS9 where you're like, oh man, this episode, and then like there's so many episodes in this show where you think that, and then you watch it and you're like, oh,
this isn't that bad.
That was better than I thought I remembered it being. You know, there's a ton of episodes in this show like that, and this is definitely one of them.
I got 2 fun facts for you here.
What?
2 fresh out the gate John Larroquette fun facts of the week.
Okay.
Number 1, Jonathan Frakes always felt that Thomas Riker should return to Deep Space Nine and was upset that Kira never fulfilled her promise to rescue him.
Jonathan Frakes? No!
The producers had sent out a 4th season pitch letter to freelance writers saying what they would be interested in hearing in and what they would not want to be interested to be hearing in.
One of them was
Tom Riker was on the not. They do not want to hear about Tom Riker in any of your pitches.
Thank God. Good plan.
And according to the non-canon Star Trek Voyager novel Quarantine,
I think we all remember that one.
it was Chakotay's idea for Tom Riker to steal the Defiant from Deep Space Nine.
Oh, because everything's connected, right? Everyone knows everybody. Everything. It's like this Lucas prequels. Everyone's connected.
Everybody's related. Chakotay is Tom Riker's brother.
Chakotay and Tom Riker served on the Ganges. Or the Gandhi, that's what it was.
The Gandhi.
Yeah.
Fucking, also, Ira Stephen Bear lied straight to an audience of people at a convention and said that they'll definitely see the return of Tom Riker because he's not a part of Next Gen anymore. He's ours, and we can do what we want with him and not worry about what the movies are going to do with Will.
Yeah.
He lied straight to their face.
That's fine. You gotta do that at cons. I mean, what? Yeah.
There's a lot of lying going on about Tom Riker in the world.
Man, you know what? I'm glad that he's done. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
It would be nice.
Really suck.
What?
If you're watching Picard, right?
Oh no, and he's Tom. Oh no.
The door opens and Will Riker comes in and he's like, "Oh, did you miss me?" And then they fucking hug and go on an adventure. And then he takes those sideburns off.
Jeff, it's him. No, you're absolutely Jeff, it's him. You're right. It's not gonna be Will, it's gonna be Tom. You're right, dude.
Dude, if they really do that, I will be so upset.
Oh my god, I'm convinced that you're right. You've never been more right about anything. That's actually what's gonna happen. Shit,
I said our podcast is really good a bunch of times, but I guess that wasn't as right. This episode is like, I would ditch it if somebody described it to me, but I would pitch it as it is. It's a pretty good episode.
It's better than it should be. Like, it's one of those, I would say it's like a B-. On paper, it's like a D.
On paper, I would say it was like a skip. I would skip this episode.
You would fail it, yeah. I'm being generous. I'd give it a D.
You are being very generous, because even with it being a passing grade, I would give it like a C-.
If I was reading it, I'm trying to like imagine like if I was reading the script, and I just keep thinking about the parts with Ducat, and they're gold. Like they are pure gold.
It's like the B plot in this episode is way better than the A plot.
Right, it's like the B plot is the A plot, and then but the A plot is like worthless. Like, who cares about the Maquis and all that shit? Who cares? I don't.
It sounds like they were so excited to use the character of Tom Riker, and I get why. Like, Jonathan Frakes gets to be on our show, right?
Yeah, he's amazing. He's great.
He gets to be a cool guest actor, and we get to do the switcheroo on our audience or whatever. But Tom Riker is nothing. He's nothing. There's nothing to that character.
Right. He's literally nothing. He's worthless.
Like, if you're not exploring our relationship with ourselves, like Will Riker's relationship with himself, that character is pointless. It's like a fucking, we got our new TNG episode guest starring Burke from TOS. Fucking Bad Kirk shows up.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, what?
But why? What does that add to the show?
It only works when there's two of them. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't work when there's one of them. It's pointless.
So the B plot in this episode is gold, though. It really is like sifting through the dirt to find the diamonds, right?
Yeah. That's Ronald D. Moore's genius. Like that's his like that's how like all of Battlestar is. Just like everything propels the show. Everything matters. It's amazing how
it's a smart way to work as well. Like the A plot B plot structure, because like. In a lot of episodes of Star Trek, you're stuck with one plot for the whole episode, and if it sucks, then the episode sucks. But you have, like, 50-50 chance when you have an A plot and a B plot.
Yeah, one of them could be good, and if they're both good, it's double good, right?
Yeah. There's really no risk unless, like, both plots suck. No, there's no risk, because if an episode sucks, it sucks. Regardless of how many plots it has.
Yeah.
You run into a problem when you have A plot, B plot, C plot, though. Because you can have two parts that suck and one part that's good.
That's like more of a film thing. Films do that more than... TV doesn't have the time, usually.
Well, now it does. Every show's like 6 hours long.
Yeah.
I can watch the new episode of Game of Thrones, or I can watch the extended edition of The Fellowship of the Ring. I've got enough time for one.
Yo, can we talk about how on Netflix they're not the extended editions?
Yeah, why would I want to watch that?
What the fuck is that?
Aragorn doesn't sing once in those things.
I was like waiting for the scene with the skulls in Return of the King when they go into the mountain.
Oh yeah, the fucking like avalanche of skulls that must have cost like $1 billion in props.
And I was like, man, I love this scene. This scene's great, right? And I'm like, oh my god, this isn't the extended edition. Fuck this.
Garbage.
Why would you do that?
I understand that people don't want to sit for 6 hours and watch a movie.
Who doesn't want to sit for 6 hours?
Those people are dum-dums, and I don't care.
I will watch all of those movies in a day whenever I can. I love that shit.
Yeah, Crystal and I sat down over a weekend and we watched one movie a day because it was a 3-day weekend for her. And at the end of those 3 movies, we were both like, "Oh, that's it."
Yeah, you could also
watch
The Hobbits and hate your life and be like, "What have I become?"
Why did they do The Hobbit dirty like that? Why'd they do it like that, Josh?
Because Peter Jackson was like, he's George Lucas. He didn't realize he was too old and tired to do it. He was like, I don't really want to
do it. Is the thing. Like Guillermo del Toro was gonna do it, and they were like, "All right, what's your CG budget?" And Guillermo del Toro was like, "What?
Yeah,
what's CG? I'm doing it all practical."
And they were like, "Nope."
And they're like, "All right, Guillermo, you cannot do that. You have to replace all of these prosthetics that you're working on with CG." And he was like, "Peace."
Yeah, they fucked
Adios.
up. It would have been so much better. It would have been so much better.
Dude, you watch Hellboy 2, and there's so much shit that's like, this dude should be directing a Lord of the Rings. Like,
I love those movies.
Hellboy
is great. The second one's great.
Awesome. The second one gets like bad rep for some reason, but it's so fucking good.
The second one gets a bad rep because like it's one of those movies like where it's like just a genuinely just like a good movie, but it's not like mind blowing, so people are like, it's not good.
It's like one of my favorite depictions of elves in anything.
Oh, they're beautiful. They're just so oh my god.
They're beautiful, but they're also like kind of weird and menacing at the same time.
They're like kind of how I think like the wood elves from The Hobbit would be, right? Like I know like Legolas is a wood elf, so he's like beautiful, but like
in like your version of the Lord of the Rings, that would be like wood elves.
When I read the book, when I read The Hobbit, I pictured them like they're not like the what I would call like the high, like I'm using Elder Scrolls terms. Yeah, they're not like
the Sindarin are the high elves, and the the Sylvan are the wood elves.
Yes. So I always pictured the wood elves as being more like pale and more like nature-y, right? They're a little more like wild. They're not so high up on their own butts.
You're not off the mark with that if you saw that in your head when you were like reading it, because like have you seen like the Rankin Bass Lord of the Rings? Elves look like fucking grotesque monsters.
Yeah, they're like evil as fuck. Because like in the book, they're dickwads.
They're like huge dicks to the fucking dwarves. But like,
why do they care? Like, why do they always give a shit? Right? Like,
it's like this weird ancient animosity. Do you know why the dwarves and the elves hate each other?
I only know from like the Silmarillion explanation.
The Silmarillion. Yeah. The elves made the Silmarillions, and the dwarves made this cool necklace to put them on.
Yeah.
And the elves were like, "Hey, thanks," and the dwarves were like, "Wait, that's a really cool necklace."
Yeah, I really want it.
And then they fucking killed the guy that paid them to do that and stole it.
Yeah. It's fucking.
And so the elves hate the dwarves because of it, and vice versa. Well, the elves also sent like a fucking kill squad after those dwarves and killed them and took it back. So there's animosity there.
The elves are great.
My favorite is in the Silmarillion. They were like, the dude made the Silmarils and he's like, "I want these. They're really pretty.
Yeah.
And I'll kill anyone who stands in my way." And they get stolen, and his, like, 5 sons are like, "We pledge ourselves and our lives and our children's lives to get back these really pretty stones our dad wants."
Dude, he loved, like, the obsession of, like, being greedy. Like, I get, like, the analogy, but, like, man, it's, like, over the top. Like you just said, it's, like, ridiculous, right?
I love it so much. And they all fucking die over these stupid stones that aren't even magical. They just shine pretty.
They're just diamonds and shit. It's just nothing. Like, who cares? Yeah, I don't know. He's got dragon sickness. What?
Like, fucking...
What the fuck is dragon sickness?
Celebrimbor, the guy who created the rings with Sauron, is the last of that guy's bloodline. He's the only one who didn't go, like, Silmaril crazy and fucking get killed.
But he also made, like, all the fucking shittiest parts of the world. He made all those goddamn rings.
He did make all the rings. He didn't know. Like, Sauron showed up as, like, an elf, and he's like, "Hey, bro, you know how to make cool rings?" And Celebrimbor was like, "Dude, I love smithing. Let's fucking smith together."
Smithing montage.
And they made some dope-ass rings together, and then Sauron was like, "Actually,
it's a long con.
These are evil rings." And Celebrimbor was like, "Well, it's a good thing I made these cool 3 rings for the elves that you never touched. Peace."
Yeah. I'm gonna give one to this hot lady, one to this other guy, and then some other guy.
Give this one to the really cool dude whose name is Gil-galad, which is a cool-ass name.
Yeah, Gil-galad.
I named my half-elf D&D character Gil-galad Tierney after him.
Ooh.
Love that name.
That's a good name. I always pick, like, nature names. I think that's, like, the easiest.
It's very elven.
Feather, like, shit like that.
It's like super wood elf.
That's kind of where, like, I always use field for shit. Like, that always came from that doing, like, that was just my name from shit. So
that's
I
cool.
Used it.
I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah. Because I
used the name Jeff Pennington because that's what my fucking parents put on my birth certificates. I don't have a cool username. It sucks. I used to use Jumpman, JMP Man, but everybody read it as JMP Man. I got tired of it, so I just made my name my
I remember when you were Jumpman, and I was like, who's this Jumpman?
Who's this hilarious dude that I love? Who is this guy?
And then There was another person that I knew who had a similar like Twitter handle who was also an artist.
Oh yeah.
And I would get confused because I'd be like, wait, which one is this?
I'm the good one. I don't know. The other one could be great. I don't know. I like how in new episodes of M-Class we just end up talking about Lord of the Rings.
We
like
do like a shoot the shit at the end. We just we talk about Elder Scrolls, Lord of the Rings. I don't know if everyone knows how fucking dorky we really are.
Fucking, there was like, I would say that it's not over, but there was a period of time a couple of weeks ago where I was like, I should learn Cinder and Elvish.
Yo, it's because it's the time of year, man. Like when fall comes around, I get like horny as fuck for like fantasy shit. Like,
dude. Well, that's the thing is like we're doing a show about sci-fi, but like we both love sci-fi, but I feel like our deepest love is the fantasy genre.
Yes. We were really like all the kids from Stranger Things, like that was like us, like growing up. Like that was how I like not that early. I was much younger than them in the show, right? But like a 90s version of that. What was I watching where they were like talking about being a nerd back? Oh, I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about like being a nerd and playing D&D back in the day, like in the 80s, like
it was like an underground thing.
Oh,
you had to
yeah.
keep that shit quiet.
You had to keep
if anybody found out, you were ruined, right?
And then they were talking about like the satanic panic of the 80s and people being like,
oh yeah,
oh, it's devil worship.
I was telling somebody about chick tracts the other day, and my absolute favorite chick tract is the one about D&D. Where if you play it, you become a Satanist and you gain magic powers if you kill your parents.
Well, that's kind of like the new season of
sign me up.
Right? That's kind of the new season of Riverdale is like they play D&D and then there's like a cult. It's like very weird. It's like
that's
really
hilarious. It's awesome.
It's great, and I think it's like it's obviously like a reference to like Satanic Panic, right? Where like the parents are like, you can't play that game.
That was going on when I was a kid as well. Like I lived in nowhere West Virginia growing up, right? So like I grew up in pretty much like the 1950s version of the world. Yeah. And like to the point where like you were ostracized and treated like shit and even like physically assaulted on the regular for having like glasses.
Right.
That was enough. And like a black kid came to our school at a certain point, and everybody was horrible to him except like 5 or 10 people.
Right.
And it was because he was so different. It was like this crazy different to everybody there. All the bullies and shit. They were like, fucking, we're hitting Jeff because he's got glasses. This dude's a whole different color.
Laugh at how funny that is, but
it's fucked up.
No,
right?
it's fucked up, but like you made it funny, so that's why.
Yeah, well, it's comedy, baby. To make comedy out of tragedy. So like the whole D&D satanic thing was still going on when I was in school because I heard about D&D on like a TV show. Like some cartoon show or something, and they were talking about like, oh, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not that big of a nerd.
Right.
It may have been the Dexter's episode, Dexter's Lab, where they play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I went to my parents, and I was like, oh, I want to play Dungeons and Dragons. And my mom was like, that's Satan worshiper stuff. You can't do that.
It's so fucking weird. Like, it's so weird that was a thing.
And I don't know how it got, because my mom like loved this fantasy series when she was a kid called, when she was younger, called the Dragon Riders of Pern.
Okay, yeah.
She was like a huge fan of this series. It's the same shit. Like,
right, it's all
fantasy.
the same shit. Right, it's all the same shit. Yeah, it's no different.
For some reason, D&D was Satan. If you did D&D, it was a cult.
I feel like
become a Satanist.
I feel like this is like a throwback. This is like a whole other podcast, but like there are people who believe that dice are Satan worship, right? There's people who believe that cards, like playing cards, are Satan worship. And I feel like the mixture of the dice with the magic and the fighting monsters and demons, I think that like fucks their brain up where they're like, I don't know. And obviously like it's like books and like you're reading out of a book, and it's like there's monsters in it, and it's like kind of like the
evil
Bible. Right? It's like the bad Bible. You know what I mean?
It's like as big as a Bible, and it costs twice as much.
It's way more coherent than the Bible. It's way more interesting.
Yeah, only one person wrote it, so
it's less made up than the Bible.
Only one person wrote the Bible too, Josh. His name is God. So.
Here's the part where I'm going to throw in a bunch of nonsense that makes no sense. Man, God, you're crazy. If I was God and I was
love it.
If I was God, I would be like, I'm God. I'm going to write a good book, not a shitty book.
There's a great part in the Bible that they cut out in the New Testament about a dude who has super strength who kills an army by himself. That's a great book.
Yeah, I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is more tightly woven than anything in the Bible.
So the Thomas Riker episode was alright.
Hail Satan.
Yeah, hail Satan. Praise Satan, everybody.
Yeah. This episode's fine. It's better than I remembered it, and that's just my final. It's just better than I remember it.
Yeah, like I said, I'd give it like a C-, which is like, I feel like I've given that to a lot of mediocre episodes, so I think I'm safe. I think C- is the correct one for this.
I'm always more forgiving than you. I'm gonna go B- because I'm a little
sure. It's weird that that's the way it is, because
people think that people think that it don't be that way, but it is.
But it do.
But it do. That's what it is. Yeah, they think that I'm like the hard ass, but I'm really not. In everything,
it really depends on the episode.
It's
whether
just
I'm
when
going to be a hard ass or not. It's really how much the A plot affects me if the B plot's good.
Yeah.
And I just never wanted to see Tom Riker again.
Well, now we never have to, thank God.
It's really great to see Jonathan Frakes, but that character sucks.
Yeah, because he's shitty Will. Like, it's like...
Yeah, he's shitty Will Riker, and also his personality is whatever the episode needs it to be.
It's like you go to someone's house, right? And, like, you look in the fridge, and they have those delicious little pony bottles of Coke. And, like, you go to grab one, and then, like, you pull it out of the fridge, and then you look at the label, and then suddenly it turned into a can of Diet Royal Crown Cola.
Jesus, that's such a downgrade.
And you're like, what the shit happened? Did I go through a time vortex? No, Thomas Riker. That's Thomas Riker.
That's the reveal of Tom Riker in this episode.
I was looking
when he
forward
takes
to a
that
Coke.
beard off, it's Royal Crown Cola Diet.
Someone's gonna draw that shit.
Oh, that'll be great. Like we've had like a lot of viewer input on the latest episodes. Like when we say to do something, people do it.
It's weird, right?
Which is wild as fuck.
Maybe we should start like a Satan cult.
Yeah, we already do. It's called the Patreon.
Yeah,
which you can become a member of.
Pledge 666.
Yeah, holy shit! If somebody did that, that would like double how much we make.
Oh my god, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
If you would like to become a patron of this show and support it, because it's like one of the main ways I pay my bills, I'm sure Josh is the same way, you can head on over to patreon.com/mclasspodcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to our dope Discord, where they have sexy votes that you can vote on sexiness.
Yeah.
You get wallpapers of a ton of episodes that have the logo gone, so you can use it as a cool wallpaper of our art, my art, but ours is in our podcast art, and much more. And at higher tiers, you get access to brand new podcasts like Jeff and Josh Shoot the Shit, where that tangent we just went on for an hour about Lord of the Rings and fantasy could be yours at any time. You could listen to it whenever.
Sometimes it's about dogs.
Sometimes it is about dogs. It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. We also do Jeff and Josh talk over movies, which we should do another one of.
We've only done one of those, so we do need to do another. We're going to do Beastmaster 2
Beastmaster 2 is... We're going to skip the first one and go straight to 2.
You guys already know what happens in that one.
Yes.
I would like to insert here that we don't normally, on the final episode of a collection, which this is YaBoyHarker's Doppelgangers Collection finale. Mm-hmm. We don't usually tell what the next collection is going to be, because you can find that on our Twitter as our pinned tweet at mclasspodcast. This time we're gonna tell it is Josh Henderson's, since he's the one who said we should do it.
One.
Sports collection.
Sports.
So look forward to baseball, basketball, and bojutsu, and whatever the fuck 7 of 9 does when she fights the Rock.
Oh my god! All right, that might be the only watchable episode of Voyager. Oh my god, we gotta watch that episode. Oh my god.
We're gonna watch that episode. We're also gonna watch Take Me Out to the Holosuite.
Yeah, that's a great
the DS9
episode.
baseball episode. The Enterprise episode where they play basketball.
For like 1 second. Yeah.
For 1 second.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's not a whole lot of sports that last for more than a second in Star Trek, I found out.
Yeah.
And also the episode with Ambo Jutsu from TNG.
Oh god, that one's not very good either.
That one is hilarious once they start Ambo Jutsu.
I love that's the thing with the mask and it's the American Gladiators, right? That's
yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm thinking of the right one.
It's like even worse American Gladiators, except American Gladiators was pretty dope.
Yeah, it was fun. That show was cool.
I wonder what did they bring that back? I feel like they brought it back for a while.
In like 2010-ish, it came back.
Damn, rest in peace, American Gladiators.
It wasn't as good. It just never will be as good.
There's something very special about the 90s American Gladiators that you're never going to be able to recapture.
I loved the colors that the unitards of the contestants, they were like peach and aqua blue, and you're like, what the fuck? Like,
they're like all the colors you would find on like a 90s windbreaker.
So 90s, like ridiculous.
Anyway, so become a patron over our Patreon, patreon.com/mclasspodcast. Follow us on Twitter at mclasspodcast. And we also do another program called mclass email where we read and answer your emails, and it's a hoot. We're going to do it right after this.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's our last Rich Masters. Oh, I'm so upset.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready for
this. I kind
of
don't want to do it so that it'll never end. Like, does that make sense?
Then it'll already have been over.
I just don't want it to end.
I don't want it to end either. He'll be back with more new things, I'm sure.
All right.
You can send in your emails to mclassemail@gmail.com, all singular, as it's always been.
That's always been that way. Yeah.
I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to our cool program. I'd like to thank Josh Henderson for being my cool co-host.
Thanks, Jeff. I'd like to thank you for being my friend.
Thank you for being
my friend.
Travel to your butt and back again.
I went a different direction, but that one works.
You know what? They both work. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will be back in 1 week with more M-Class goodness. Peace.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm mentally ill.